Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me. Today I have an unboxing video for you. I have recently stocked up on a whole bunch of herbs that I was almost out of, and I thought I would go ahead and take you through each one of them. There's a couple things that are new to me, but most of this is stuff that is tried and true, used constantly in my home, and I thought I'd go ahead and share that with you along with a little bullet point list of why I use each one, why they're great, and possibly spark your interest to do further research on whatever things may kind of like go, oh, that sounds like something I could use, go and do some further research on that. And then afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and take you on just a really fast little tour of my apothecary shelf, which I have in the background of my herbal pill making video, and just sort of show that. And yeah, so go ahead and stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and get right into the unboxing because there's quite a lot of stuff here. Mountain Rose Herbs is a great company, which I've mentioned before. I love them because they are a zero waste company. So every piece of plastic you see is recyclable. They themselves are zero waste. Everything is shipped in cardboard and paper. It's kind of one of those things. It's like I wish you didn't have to, but honestly, if everything were packed in paper, it wouldn't last very long. So it's like, we can reuse these plastic bags for as long as possible before they get recycled. And it's still definitely a step above Ziplocs. So I love that. But anyway, I just thought I would throw that out there for anybody who might be like, that's a lot of plastic. But anyway, so first up we have lemon balm. So this is a 1 pound bag of lemon balm. This is a ton. And I love lemon balm because it's great for digestive upset and like anxiety and stress. All of these statements have not been verified or evaluated, whatever, by the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, I'm sharing with you kind of the folk uses of these plants. Okay, can we keep it on the down low? Okay, so this is great for digestive upset, stress, anxiety. It's also just a really yummy tasting herb that's great to add to other blends to make them taste better if you have some stuff that's maybe bitter and isn't quite as good. And that's my daughter closing the door, I guess, which I probably should have done myself. And then so that one's a great one to have on hand. I would not be without that one if I could help it. So I use that as teas. I've also tinctured it for taking more quickly. And yeah, it's a great one. I really love that one. Next up we have dandelion leaf, which is a brand new one to me. I got this one because it's super full of minerals and nutrients. It's just a very gentle, nutritive herb, chock full of things like iron and calcium and many other things. And so this is just a great one to have on hand to turn into teas. So that when you're drinking it, you're getting like, not only is it just a drink, it's minerals, it's nutritious. So it's fantastic. You can also kind of sprinkle it into soups and things like that. I don't honestly know specifically other uses for it. I know that it does have more uses than just that, but for me, it was mainly about nutrition. I'm pretty sure it's like a diuretic. It might be good for kidney stuff. You'd have to look that up. So do more research. I need to do more research too, but yeah. This was mainly nutrition. Red raspberry leaf, another 1 pound bag. So this one too, I go through pretty fast. Red raspberry leaf and nettles has got to be one of my favorite teas in existence. It's great, chock full of minerals. This is also very tonic to the uterus. It's a classic pregnancy tea that women drink to nourish themselves, because not only is it rich in minerals like calcium and all of that good stuff, this is another really nourishing thing. It actually seems to really help tone things and just possibly can help support pregnancy. So that's a great one to have. But as a woman, I'm not pregnant obviously, but I still take it because it's still beneficial beyond pregnancy. And again, just minerals, calcium, and yumminess. This one's really good too. Also a pound of dried St. John's wort. I use this one in, this one too. Teas and vinegars, herbal vinegars. I use this for. Anyway, St. John's wort I put into teas. This one's mainly tinctures. So this one is not only famous, right? It's really famous as antidepressant and for anxiety and things like that. But what I have found and truly love St. John's wort for lately in my own life is nerve pain. It is so beautifully regenerative and restorative. It has been shown to have regenerative and restorative actions to the nerves. I'm trying to practice how I say things. And it can really help to lessen any kind of nerve pain, especially anything like in your neck and in your shoulders, and in your back. I think it was Susan Weed who said that St. John's wort is basically like tincture of St. John's wort is basically like having a chiropractor in a bottle. And anecdotally, I threw my back out like a month or two ago, and boy, did it prove true. It's like I took ibuprofen like you're supposed to, and nothing ever happened. Nothing ever helped. And as soon as I started taking St. John's wort tincture, I started feeling some relief, and then I just got progressively better and better and better. So I really love St. John's wort. This is one I would not be without. Again, I love this one. Next up, we have a 4-ounce bag of elder flowers. I would have gotten more, but this was getting really expensive. And I do have some already in my apothecary cabinet, but I just wanted to get a little bit more. This is a great one for upper respiratory issues, just like general immune stuff, coughs, colds, things like that. It's elderberries. So this is the same plant. They're both marked Sambucus nigra because they are the same plants. This is the flower, this is the berry. And they're both wonderful, but they are used for different things. And so the elderberry is also really great for like coughs and things like that. Gosh, what is going on with my hair? This is so, I just can't even. Okay. Anyway, so this is great for lung and coughs and colds and things like that. Elderberry syrup is a classic medicinal remedy for prevention of colds and flus and stuff, because it has been shown in actual scientific research to inhibit viruses from entering cells. So as a preventive measure, absolutely, this is one that we are taking every day right now, with stuff that's going on. So there has definitely been a lot of stuff about elderberry and whether or not it is safe for use specifically with COVID-19. Now, of course, I'm not making any claims that any of this is actually going to prevent anything, but just like in my own, I love how Richo Check, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Richo Check, he says, you know, in my barefoot herbalist estimation, like when he's about to make a conclusion, and this is me too, just like as a barefoot herbalist, I think if this helps prevent viral flus and colds, other coronaviruses, it theoretically could also help with the new one. Again, I'm not making claims, but in my mind. Now, it is possible some research has been done. Hi, this is my little girl. Some research has been done suggesting that it can increase the cytokine storm immune response at the end of the disease, which is dangerous. I am dubious of those claims. However, I will say that that is, you know, potentially a real concern. So should any of us begin showing any kind of symptom, this will discontinue immediately. We will not take elderberry. But, you know, things are not just like when we're talking about sicknesses, we're not just talking about treating when you get sick. It's also about prevention. And that's where elderberry, I think, is a star. And honestly, for me personally, the way I think about it is elderberry is prevention, elderflower is treatment. I don't know anything about elderflower and cytokine storms. I haven't heard about it. I don't know. Just because they're the same plant doesn't mean that they have the same action in the body. So it's definitely something that requires a lot more research. Elderberry is a hot button topic right now. So you have to kind of make your own decisions and do your own research on that. But still, elderflower is a classic ingredient in tea blends that help prevent or that help treat coughs and colds, like just standard ones. So I would not be without these guys. Hey, sweetie. Oh gosh, you just decided to make sure that they disable the comments on mommy's video. Okay, anyway, moving on. Hawthorn berry. This is a 1 pound bag of hawthorn berry, and I think it's kind of funny. So you have to kind of like keep it in mind when you're ordering your herbs that if you have like a leaf, this is a 1 pound bag. For a berry, this is a 1 pound bag. And like, this is a 1 pound bag. So it ends up definitely changing the size of the bag that you order. Or the size of what you're getting. So like, for instance, this may be way too much for you. Order like 4 ounces instead, and you'll get quite a lot more. Okay, Hawthorn berry, classic. This is kind of a new one to me, but one that I have been deeply enjoying. So I do equal parts Hawthorn berries and nettles together as just like a daily yummy tonic, and it is so yummy. I take it as a tea. And Hawthorn berry is like classic heart medicine. It has been shown to be very supportive to the cardiovascular system in general. Very much, studies that suggest that it reduces cholesterol, and also that it can, over time, I'm trying to think of what's the word, it normalizes blood pressure with use over time. If it's too high, it'll bring it to normal, and if it's too low, it'll bring it to normal. There's just something so beautifully supportive about plants, and that is specifically one of the things I love about them so much, that it's like almost like, how could it perform the opposite action? But it isn't so much, I think, that it performs opposite actions. It just performs whatever action it is that your body is needing. The support that your body needs is what it gives you, and then your body comes into balance on its own. All of these things are not like magic. So much of it is just about supporting your body in its own kind of miraculous, normal healing process. So I love Hawthorn berry. It is so yummy, y'all. It tastes like a juice when you make it. Like, it's so good. So I'm really enjoying this one. And it's heart medicine. And then also it is said to be also like on the emotional side for like grief and heartache. And I don't know how accurate that is. Again, like, there's definitely no scientific study that would back that up, but that is definitely a traditional use of this plant. So it's a great one to have and a great one to know. I have tinctured it, but I've mainly been using it as a tea because I don't have a tincture yet because it's not ready, because it takes like 6 weeks. So anyway, but yeah, I've mainly been using it as a tea, and I have been considering grinding some up into a powder to put into smoothies or to make into little herbal balls and whatnot. So I'm still thinking about it. Okay, now we've got burdock root and dandelion root. Both of these are 1 pound bags too. They are roots, so they're heavy. I'm going to say them together because I think they end up traditionally, or typically, a lot of times they do get used together. Burdock is a very strong cleanser. It's just a great one to have on hand, super rich in minerals, again, very healthy for you. This is a great, like, burdock and dandelion and calendula together are great to take internally, especially if you have a lot of acne issues, because they're just so cleansing and so supporting to the skin. They're so cleansing and supportive to the digestive system. There's so much goodness in these 2 plants right here. I don't think I could ever cover it in enough detail, but I do have these on hand, and these, because they're so bitter, I tend to use them in tincture form. So I have that, like, so I have 2 teenage boys, so we have the burdock dandelion calendula blend going in this house to help them with skin problems or whatever. And when they are consistent, it really does help a lot. So that is definitely one that I love, and that's why we have that on the house. Slippery elm bark powder, 1 pound. This is ethically and sustainably harvested. So that's another reason I love Mountain Rose herbs, is because you can trust their sourcing. Slippery elm bark is one of the plants that is kind of at risk right now because it's over harvested, and then also because harvesting it either kills or very much damages the tree that it comes from, especially if it's done badly. So it's one that you definitely want to source from a reputable and ethical source like Mountain Rose herbs. I'm not sponsored by them. I wish, like, I would take a sponsorship, y'all. But this is excellent for almost any kind of digestive issue that you can think of. It's got mucilage, is the lovely kind of gross sounding term, but it's soothing on your insides. This is another one that seems to have like opposing action, where it is extremely supportive for constipation, but also for diarrhea. Like, it'll help either way. And then give relief to your stomach. This, along with calendula, is one that I use if I seem to have stomach flare up. I had an H. pylori infection like years ago that I think left some damage. And then occasionally I still use calendula and slippery elm to give me a little bit of relief if I feel like some of those same symptoms coming back. So it's just great. This also, though, is an excellent poultice. If you mix it with some water and use it as a poultice for a bee sting or like a rash or a burn, it's so soothing. So everything that it does inside, it does outside too on your body. This is also an excellent one for eczema and all kinds of stuff. So many uses of this wonderful, wonderful plant. And so yeah, do some research on that. Ginger root, classic anti-inflammatory digestive aid. I bought it in this form because I'm wanting to make a chai, like a chunky, more traditional chai, without having to always deal with doing fresh ginger. So this is going to go in. So that's actually one of the main reasons I have turmeric too in this form. Anti-inflammatory, beautiful, beautiful thing. If you're, bored with your fingers, their normal color, this will turn them yellow very well. So you have like a nice change of pace. And yeah, they're just great to have on hand, mainly for like chai and golden milk. And in this form anyway. And then I bought this, and this is actually for my friend. She wanted one, so I got one for her too, because I have heard that there's been some lead contaminating in the turmeric powder, and I'm not trying to make anybody paranoid, but I was like, it's kind of like the thing with the elderberry. Like, even though I'm like dubious as to how pervasive and harmful it is, it's like ever since I heard that, I either use fresh turmeric root or I use this. And that's how I get my turmeric now, because again, I can trust the source, I feel. And then because this is the whole root and it's not a powder, you don't have to worry about like a lead powder being added to your turmeric. I just can't even, y'all. So I think that's it. That's the whole thing. It was huge. It's a huge order. Wasn't it huge? It was a long video. It's a huge order, huh? Yeah, that's your coffee. It's not really coffee. We call it coffee, so she's more interested in her cup. Okay, so now I will go ahead. This is getting pretty long. I'm gonna just go quickly show you my apothecary shelf where I can show you some of the preparations that I already have and some of the in-progress ones. I will be right back. All right, here's the little shelf in my kitchen where I store a lot of my prepared things. This is so that it's easily accessible to us, but it's also where I'm keeping all of my in-progress medicines and projects like kombucha and apple cider vinegar and basic vinegars. And so these are in progress tinctures. There is a cordial back there. This is an oxymel, which means that it is a mixture of honey and vinegar, sorry. And over here, there's a couple of herbal oils, and then there's a couple of salves that we use pretty constantly, and a bunch of tinctures that we're using, occasionally, but just to have them ready to go. I have bigger jars of all of these stored inside of my cabinet. And so, yeah, that's my shelf, and I really love it. So we definitely are a family that has, or, that really believes in the power of herbal medicine and plants, the power of plants. I mean, they're amazing. So yeah, that's a little shelf. Maybe at some point I'll do a more detailed tour. If that seems interesting, please let me know. And I will show you exactly each thing on here and maybe a little bit of why we personally choose to use it. And yeah. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here. That got a little longer than I expected, but hopefully it was still full of really good information for you guys. And just as always, I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to comment and like and subscribe and share if you found this helpful at all. And if you go to Mountain Rose Herbs, tell them I sent you and tell them to give me a sponsorship. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it. But yeah, I guess that's all. So as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.